Hello and welcome back to the 2018 Disruptive Innovation Festival. My name is Colin Webster and I will be your host for this session titled Accelerating Construction Tech Innovation. We're using a circular economy mindset. Joining me in the session today is Adi Magar and Yoray Gabriel, who are beaming in from Israel today. Now, the construction industry is said to be one of the most wasteful industries on the planet. So surely, if any industry is ripe for a circular economy in terms of materials used and the techniques applied, it's got to be the construction industry. And perhaps we'll hear a few gems in this morning's session to get us on the way to see what can really happen with the construction industry with regards to the circular economy. So over to our two guests. Adi, I'm going to ask you this question first. How do you see the circular economy working in construction?
Hi, nice to meet all of you. I think it's a great question. It's very challenging. Here in Israel, we have a lot of challenges, but I think we are on the road to develop ecosystem, either communities and innovation in raw materials. And we're going to demonstrate it today in our session.
Perfect. And when you say develop an ecosystem, there'll be some people sitting here thinking, hang on, the construction industry is quite a distance away from an ecosystem. We're talking metaphorically, but can you tell us what we mean by an ecosystem? Yes.
We have in Israel several communities and several companies and industries that are a part of a big ecosystem, that involve in innovation in construction. Either materials, either technologies, either drones, etc. So I think maybe Yoray, who is expert in those communities, can add more.
Okay, Yoray, over to you. Take us away.
Hi, Colin. Yeah, well, great to be here again. And we'd love to take you through this session to some ideas about construction technology and circular economy, and basically how the ideas of circular economy help us reimagine or accelerate our efforts to move forward innovations in the construction space. I think the construction industry is extremely curious and interested in moving forward. It's regarded as one of the last frontiers of technology. It's a traditional industry. There's a lot of challenges involved, and it's still one of the major aspects of any national economy or in a global economy. It's one of the largest industries in the world. So certainly when we talk about innovation and we're talking about moving forward in the construction industry, we need to think how we do it better than we've done it before. And we'd love to take you through this session through some things that are happening here in Israel, just to tell you some interesting or exciting innovations around materials, and also share with you how we're trying to accelerate the process and how we teamed up all the major players in the local economy to move innovation in construction forward.
Sounds perfect. Can't wait to get started. So what have you got to tell us?
So basically, we want to talk to you about several things related to nurturing growth, reducing dead ends in entrepreneurial efforts, which is a significant waste factor in entrepreneurship, and also increasing the flow of ideas that go from developers to the industry, and of course preventing waste of matters or materials that are extremely important for economic growth. Sorry. And I think we can start with a few examples of things that are happening here and that are related to Adi's line of interest. Adi has just started a community for innovations in raw material and is pushing forward the awareness and understanding how we can reimagine materials for construction.
Okay, so hi everyone, and shalom from Tel Aviv. I'm going to give a few examples of innovation in raw materials in our industry in Israel. The first one will be, and I will introduce myself a few minutes afterwards. The first example would be about Eden. Eden is a wood recycling factory. It's Actually, I'm a co-founder with Ben Yovnieli 4 years ago. It's located 20 minutes drive from Tel Aviv. And what we do is we take the wood waste from those construction companies and we take them to the factory and we reuse it. As you can see on the slides, we take plates, we take different kinds of long wood waste, and we make from them furniture, we make wood chips, and we do it for the last 4 years. We even won the SwitchMed program. SwitchMed is a European well-known program. We do collaboration with over 20 different kind of municipalities in our country, and we're the biggest one, as far as we know, that do recycling in this scale. We're not just manufacturing, we do the whole circle. We take the waste, we manufacture furniture, take the chips, the wood chips, and reuse it to cover the land in kindergartens or either construction sidewalks or roads, etc. So we do a life cycle of wood, and it's the biggest one in Israel, and we are very, very proud of this industry. So the second example that I want to share with you, these are also a great picture that I'm really proud of. We did a collaboration with the Hebrew University regarding how to take the wood chips mixed with the patent the university has of ecological glue, and we are going to manufacture another product, which may be another factory. This is an impact on economy, social, environmental. It's huge. There's a huge potential for this stream of wood waste in Israel. We're just processing. It's a step. We're only 4 years, but we still have a long way to go. So we're very proud of the products. We do also have classes, sessions that we educate kids about circle economy. Would have been done if we wouldn't have taken the wood. The wood would have been burned or buried or thrown away. So we don't want to waste the wood waste, or we want to recycle and reuse it. So that's the challenge regarding the wood.
Adi, can I ask, if we go back to the last image, if we saw a roundabout there, I see what's going on in the left-hand image. I presume you've made benches and planters, but what's happening? Why are we seeing the roundabout? What was there?
This is an amazing example, because what we did here was a collaboration with the municipality. On the one hand, they had a lot of wood waste because they just built a building, a public building. If I'm not mistaken, it's a school. So they had a lot of wood waste and they didn't want to throw it away. So they wanted to save money, save energy, doing good environment. So they send it to the factory. We recycle it, collaborate with another company of wood chips in our area. They had a great machine, great technology and knowledge. They made the wood chips and they color it with different kind of ecological colors that are it's really strict, the colors. And what you see in the photo is the wood chips covering the roundabout in different colors, saving money because the rain is not, drilling into the ground, and it's beautiful. And it's not, it saves water, it's ecological, and it's recycled. And of course, if they wouldn't have taken this, they would have taken something from nature, like stones, small sand, whatever. So they would have taken something from nature. So we replaced it with a beautiful product, which is recycled and reused.
Why do we have so much wood waste in the construction industry?
That's an excellent question. Israel just celebrated 70 years old. It's very young. And we are just in the process of developing new technologies of building. Buildings are still being built or rebuilt or manufactured with wood. So we don't have enough steel. Maybe it's a process. Maybe we'll go and build more with steel, but for now we do have a lot of wood. It's a good question. And we do have a lot of packing. Markets and other industries use a lot of wood as a package for other boxes or other things. So we do have a lot of wood to use.
Yeah, and current technologies for working with concrete requires pouring the concrete on site, and that means building the molds on site, and they use wood for that. And after they pour all the concrete, they basically throw away the wood, and it's a huge amount of materials just being thrown away, because concrete at the moment is still the cheapest and most common building material.
Okay, that's really interesting to know. And just a word out to our audience at home, which is to say that if you have any questions or thoughts for Adi or Yorai, please put them into the discussion box on the right-hand side of your screen, and I'll make sure that one of my little underlings gets the question to me here in the hot seat. But I think you were going to show us another example there, were you?
Yeah, if we're already talking about concrete, and concrete is an interesting material, but it's a dead material, and I'll show you some examples of how concrete is reimagined and taken to the future, and actually revitalized through innovation.
Okay, so the second example is eConcrete, which is a company founded in 2012 by two people, Shimrit and Eran. And eConcrete offers an environmentally sensitive concrete solution that enhances the biological and ecological value of urban and coastal marine infrastructure, while increasing their strength and durability. In fact, what you see in this photo is before and after. On the left side, you can see, for example, seawall before and then after. Bottom line is that eConcrete has a patent of formula that creates a new concrete. They have collaboration with local factories around the globe. They did several pilots here in Israel in several ports, for example, Ashdod and Haifa and Elat, but they're focused and also got a lot of prizes and grants because they did a great change in the way we think about concrete. It's not only gray, but it's different. They came, Shimrit and Ido Sela, they came from biological surface, and they love the water, and they dive, and they saw the marine and the sea level, and the climate warm, and they thought, listen, we cannot use concrete like that. We have to invent, and so they did a patent of dust, some kind of formula. They build on the surface, and they build under the water. What they create is a new ecosystem for animals and solution for the plants. So the concrete is not blocking, but it's also it's not blocking, it's creating a new ecosystem, which now is very popular around the globe.
Are you able to measure this? I mean, first up, let me say, this looks fantastic. The difference between the before and after, I'm blown away by this. Are you able to measure the success in terms of, I don't know, biodiversity growth through using this technique?
What they told us that you can see the difference here in the slide. It's an impact that after a few months, you can already see the difference. For the tide pool on the right that you can see, it's after 4 till 6 months. So as long as it will stay in the water, it will create a new ecosystem. And there's a huge potential around the globe for this patent, for this company, eConcrete. So yes, they are only, from 2012, but still they see a lot of potential and great success around the globe. They really won a lot of grants and prizes. And
another interesting company is Cretera.
Yes.
What can you tell us about them?
Wow, Cretera is amazing. We love Adita Lela. She's the owner. She has other team members with her, with material engineers, etc. Criteria actually develops advanced earth technologies and fabricates deeply sustainable products that are as strong as concrete and at the same time embody the vision of a circular economy. In a way, Adita worked for 20 years. She had that vision. How can I create a material that when I will break it or I will not need it, it will go back to the ground? And that's the, you know, the circular economy vision. So she had that vision, and she created eco-innovative technology, which allows her to mass production of constructive three-dimensional elements, as well as interior products. She also shown her products around the globe. She won several prizes and grants here in Israel because what she did is very unique. She worked for many years in order to do the full economy and circular earth technology. And she started with mugs. She went to tables and chairs, and now she has cover walls, indoor and outdoor. And the materials can be in different colors, and she has a very small factory here, again, very close to Tel Aviv, and it's amazing technology. Actually, I can tell you a secret that now she's looking for investments. So if either of you are interested in criteria, take a look at the website.
We saw there was a question about use of wood through construction. Perhaps we can answer it now.
Please take it away, all right. Well, I read it out loud, in fact, so not everyone will be following. So Jojo has asked, is there wood that you can't take? Why is this? And do you have innovations downstream at the design level to solve this so that more and more wood can go through this process?
Great.
Okay, great question. Thank you very much. Yes, we do have issues with wood that we cannot or don't have the ability to deal with because different reasons, either technology, either human source, either research. And especially, I think the challenge is to get the government to subsidize or even get the numbers of how many wood waste we have in Israel and which kinds. You know, data is the basic for everything. So we are lacking of database regarding wood. So in general, we're lacking database. We don't have any subsidized, and we're very challenging ourselves because of our customers. So yes, we do have wood problem because of the glue, because they are wet, because they are not good for our products, either the wood chips or the furniture. But we are very, very much challenged, and we love challenge. So as you can see in our, we will continue, and we'll see how communities and other entrepreneurs can find solutions together. So maybe we'll find solution with you.
So are you
we think
in some cases they're painted?
Some of the wood is painted and some is not. We do choose our wood before we take care of it. We cannot take any wood.
Okay. One of the interesting things about innovation is that innovation is endless. It never stops. It's not a project that we finish and then we say, okay, good, we can rest. Every centimeter we move forward, we discover another 10 meters that we have to cover. And we think that by increasing the awareness and actually helping, and one of the factors is not just the idea or the scientific part of innovation, is actually bringing these innovations into reality, making them popular, making the markets and industries aware of this, of the potentials, aware of the challenges, and help them respond much faster to these challenges. And we're gonna talk about it in a few seconds. And I think a good way of start this conversation is by talking about IRMI. IRMI is the Israeli Raw Material Innovation Forum that Adi just founded, and I think it's a good question to start. Just why did you start this forum?
Okay, so IRMI is a passion of mine. IRMI is Israel Raw Materials Innovation Forum, which started less than a year ago here in Israel. The reason I started this initiative was two reasons. First of all, I came back from Panama and Colombia after spending there for 2 years, came back to Israel and seeing nothing much changed. And there is a gap between natural materials, which, as you know, Israel is very small country, and we are lacking of natural materials. But on the other hand, we have a lot of recycled aggregates because we do create and recover. So we have a lot of waste and we recycle it. So the gap between doesn't have enough natural and have a lot of recycled, that's an opportunity for innovation. So I decided to look for companies who found solutions for how to create new raw materials. So this is the first reason. The second reason was there wasn't any one-stop address. The knowledge about many things is most of the time, separated, and many people know about many people, many ideas. I wanted to create a place where I can organize meetings, set opportunities for entrepreneurs to get involved, get to know investments, and talk about what they have as an idea. Even though it's not a company or industry, or they don't have a product, it's okay, but you have a vision. So IRMI, in a way, it's a vision of creating a one-stop place where you can share ideas with different sectors and database and get, into research and be involved in meetings, which are not so often, but still you can contact and have questions. And of course, IRMI is a part of, the world. So I'm pretty much hoping to expose IRMI to other initiatives. You're right. I saw how construction tech, in the last years, they're developing a lot of communities. So maybe you have any good idea how to do good to IRMI and other initiatives. What's going on?
Why is it important that there are these sort of convening organizations like IRMI, bringing together different organizations from across a nation?
So Colin, that's a great question, and I think I think we can learn a lot from this story of an accidental community that, in a way, helped to spark an ecosystem here in Israel. And we're talking about the Construction Tech Forum, or the Construction Tech Community, which is now the largest construction networking meetup in the world. And it basically started from a small conversation I had with some colleagues at the Google campus here in Tel Aviv 4 years ago about the fact that there is this interest or kind of re-emerging interest in construction technologies, and but at the same time we didn't see many ventures that were going towards this space. And again, it's a huge space. It's extremely interesting space. There's so many things to do, but there is a big gap between the reality and the visionaries. And we're thinking, what can we do about it? And we said, well, the first thing to bring awareness is say, let's do a meeting. And we did an event 3.5 years ago, and it was April 2015 at Google campus in Tel Aviv, and we called it Under Construction. And we said, let's talk about challenges of startups and innovators who are addressing the construction industry. And we didn't really expect too many people to come, but we were overwhelmed by the amount of people who came and showed interest in what we were talking about. And from that just single event, we said, okay, let's do another meeting and another meeting and another meeting, and pretty soon we created this monthly meetup that brings together engineers, technology developers, people from the construction industry, people from the scientific world, people from municipalities, and we said, oh, this is interesting. What can we do with that? Now, part of my work is pushing forward innovation programs, and so I'm pretty much familiar with the challenges that are beyond the scientific discovery, that are beyond the part of we have a great idea. Now we need to bring it to reality. My talk last year was about the operation of innovation, and the operation of innovation is extremely challenging. And we said, here's an opportunity. Here's a group of people who are interested in a topic. We can bring them together. We can basically talk about all the challenges. And by talking about all these challenges, we eliminate a lot of entrepreneurial waste. And by entrepreneurial waste, and this is something that we kind of playing around, is like how circular economy ideas affect or operate on creativity. So creativity is also a process that creates a lot of waste. A lot of the ventures don't succeed. A lot of the attempts fail. A lot of the entrepreneurs finish their budgets or get discouraged. And basically, when that happens, we lose so much valuable information and so much insights that takes a lot of time to regenerate. So we said, let's try to use this meetup and bring more awareness. So we started thinking about content, and we said what we could introduce, what sort of gaps we identify, and we can respond through these meetings. So we realized that there was a big knowledge gap between entrepreneurs and the industry itself. And we realized that there's a lack of shared vision, because some organizations had one vision, the others had other visions, and they weren't talking about it together. That, again, generated a lot of delays. Then once you start, and we've touched on that earlier in the conversation, the minute you move 1 centimeter forward, you understand how many more problems you have. And if we don't talk about these issues in time, we basically delay the process instead of expediting it. So over the years, we kind of introduced more and more ideas and awareness and kind of took the conversation. And the amazing thing that we discovered is that when we took the conversation, we actually managed to translate some of the challenges that are affecting the Israel developers communities. It's a small place. There's not many resources. The industry is not that big. But we say, hey, these are great advantages, because if it's a small place, then people are closer together. If people are closer together, that means we can bring them much faster, and we can get them more interested. And we actually managed to take this disadvantage and turn it into an advantage. And pretty soon, a lot of other organizations became interested in this topic of construction tech. And I think 2 years or a year after we started, and we weren't at the same time, there were other organizations, leading construction companies started developing open innovation programs. There were efforts by the Israeli Green Building Association that were already on the way to improve sustainable and ecological thinking around building. And we said, hey, let's talk about this together. Let's create a big discussion. And I think you can see that this is just a partial list of the communities and organizations that are working now. And one of the challenges that we are now facing is, how do we maintain the cohesiveness of all these organizations? Because one thing that happens is that when an ecosystem grows, it also breaks. It also becomes a little bit more distance, and you have more entities taking care of about their own issues. And when they do that, again, we increase the waste and we increase the delays, and that's something that we didn't want to happen. So we've opened a dialogue. We've helped everyone. We said it's going to be an open stage, and that got a lot of curiosity from organizations and from entrepreneurs,
such as me, because as I told you before, I came back to Israel after 2 years. I didn't know about anyone who can help me how to develop this forum, this IRMI. And I talked to Yorai because a friend told me talk to Yorai, and I was amazed. There's communities which creates either other communities or collaborate with communities, because IRMI is in part of this community. I was developed IRMI because I was inspired by Yorai and the community. And I already, thinking about the next projects I want to do with drones, which I've never thought I will do waste recycling drones before I met Yorai in the community. And the other thing is not just solving me or develop communities, but also inspiring entrepreneurs to join us and see how we can help each other.
And we're basically working through this community in breaking the silos, breaking the divisions between organizations, and also between different types of challenges. So for example, this week was the annual conference of the Israeli Green Building
Council, celebrating 10 years.
Yeah, celebrating 10 years. And one of the things that we did together is to basically use all the entities in the construction tech space, send a call for people who are creative in the construction site. And we've managed to collect a fantastic list of ideas that actually demonstrate that construction industry is not that traditional, old, not moving industry. It's a creative, there's a lot of ideas, a lot of needs, and there's a lot of desire also for change. And we're able to accelerate the awareness to these ideas and to these challenges. And this is where it gets interesting, because now we see a growing interest in construction tech innovation. We see a growing number of startups, both digital and material, addressing the construction tech, and we're able to also bring them together around important ideas that need to be taken into account as early as possible, such as circular economy, such as accelerated growth, such as complex ecosystems. And actually, this brings us to something that we will be really interested and really hoping to do next is, okay, what's the next stage? And the question that we're asking is, can we do it on a global scale?
In a way, we wanted to call other organizations, advocates, or anyone who will listen to us, even entrepreneurs in the beginning, or maybe your industry which has challenges and interested in R&D or foundings or being a part of community. I'm not saying family, even though sometimes it feels like family because it's very warm and close, and we have, meetings and we talk globally also. So if you are there on the other side of the screen, interested in being a part, or you are already a part of a community over there, please join us. And what we offer you is to open a global dialogue with us. We didn't even introduce ourselves. Maybe we can have half a minute to say a few words about ourselves. It's okay.
Hello. Yes, of course. Please do.
Thank you. Okay, so Adi Mager. I'm an urban planner, entrepreneur, and academic advisor. By passion, I really am passionate about it, is innovation in raw materials, either recycled materials, either natural materials or mixed, or, making our kids a better world. So this is my vision. Hope you join me.
Yeah. And I'm Uri Gabriel, and my passion is around accelerating creativity and scaling innovation efforts in ecosystems. And one of the things that I'm dealing with is actually helping improve the innovation operation itself. So definitely a major catalyst for improving innovation efforts and investments is a global or a broader open discussion that can bring together not just the hopes, but also the challenges and also the frustrations. I think this is actually really good material for creativity. And yeah, we would really hope to see what happened here in the Israeli construction tech ecosystem over the past few years happening on a larger scale. There are a lot of other industries that are interested. There's a lot of interest around construction tech at the moment. But again, because it's a traditional industry, because there's this kind of inherent conflict between how fast entrepreneurs move and the pace of the industry, which itself is a little bit slower. That can create a lot of tension and conflicts. And we want to really help bridge these tensions.
Adi, you have given us a call to action there with your request that people get involved by following the URL that's on the screen there. And we'll put that into the chat box that people are watching this page on too, so people can follow up and perhaps take you up on that idea of joining up on a global scale. I really enjoyed this tour of what's been going on in the Israeli construction sector. We've heard about 3 innovations in particular, about that convening agency that is bringing together all those different organizations in Israel that has a real chance to transform the way in which the Israeli construction sector works. And just perhaps, if we follow up on the request by Adi and Uri to change the global face of the construction industry, who knows? Adi, Uri, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And thank you very much for everyone who joined online. That's the end of this session at the Disruptive Innovation Festival. The DIF ends tomorrow, but all of the content that's been up here for the last 3 weeks is available online. There's so many great sessions for you to go out there and watch. I urge you to have a look at our schedule and follow some of the recommendations you'll see there. But for now, it's goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.